Hey guys, welcome back to FinanceRox. I'm Roxanne, and today I'm doing my new money bucket list goals, or like my new longer term goals. These are goals I've come up with over the last year, and I'm excited to be adding these because I struggle sometimes to come up with newer creative goals. My big life goal was getting my finances in order, and ever since we bought our house, there's been a bit of a stagnation there as far as coming up with new things that I want to work towards. And not to say that you always should go from one goal to the next goal to the next goal, just finding goals that help inspire you and motivate you can be really helpful. So that's been my journey of trying to find new things to work towards, new things to save for, and I have some exciting ones. I'm going to show these. I got images for each one, and I'm going to add them to my money bullet journal. So let's go ahead and jump into that. So we have 10 goals to add. I'm going to add the first 5 and arrange them on the page here. So the first one is to do little writing retreats. So I actually went to this little Airbnb and did a little writing retreat, just like solo travel and getting to get out of the house a little bit feels like a special treat. So I had this idea and have already started working on that one. So the cost of this is pretty expensive. I think I averaged about $250, and that is per trip, and that's multiple nights, just because like you don't get rentals very long or hotels if you just go for one night. It's nice to book 2 so that way you can have a full day. The next one is a craft house. So I have an image here. I have an image here of a little like craft Airbnb space that you can go and they do like scrapbook crops and other like arts and crafts, and then also could like host events. I thought that'd be really fun and a good intersection of having a cool workspace, but also like community and working with people. Who doesn't want a whole house dedicated to crafting? So I found the idea based off of, there's an actual like scrapbooking house that you can rent in my hometown. So I found that and I was like, oh, what a cool idea. That'd be something I would probably enjoy. So the one that I looked at was about 2,800 square feet, and I was able to look it up on Zillow, and the cost of it was about $267,000. So, I mean, of course you're buying an investment property, so, but yeah, I was actually surprised at how little it would cost to do something like that. I would have assumed that it'd be, very expensive, but. Okay, the next one is part-time live abroad. So live abroad has always been one of my goals, but I've never actually lived outside of Montana in my adult life. So I thought maybe it would be better to like live for a few months in another state, to try out living somewhere else. And maybe I get that like sense of living abroad by just living in another state. We'll try that for now, and then I can always expand this into like fully like moving to Canada for a few months or something. So this is an image of the Oregon coast. I believe this is Cannon Beach. And we are working this in this year. We are gonna do a month on the coast and have it be like travel / adventuring / digital nomad experience, to see how we like it, to see if it's something that we want to do more. The next one is get paid for doing stand-up. I've done a few open mics and really enjoyed them. And so I'd like to do a bit more, and I think that if I tried to structure it in a way that like I'm planning on earning money from it, that then I'll take it more seriously and follow through, practice writing so that way I can have more quality material compared to, just kind of winging it, doing fun open mics. The last one for this side of the page is going to be a yoga retreat. So this was one that was my mother-in-law's idea, something that she's done before, and I think that sounds really nice and pleasant and a good external deadline for me to like practice improving my core strength, which is actually my main goal for 2022. It's good for balance, flexibility. Okay, and the next 5 are going to be to become an accredited investor. So this is just an image of somebody on a laptop looking at stock charts. So to be an accredited investor, I think you have to have $1 million invested, not including your primary residence. I did not realize that when I first read the criteria for it, so that'll be a goal going forward. The next is going to be what I'm calling Bozeman Money Talks. So I want to do like a money personal finance survey. So I just have 2 ladies here drinking coffee, but I want to do like a survey for finance stuff and then be able to include those like quotes and statistics in the book that I'm working on, and then, just be able to share on social media. It's always nice to do interviews and hear other people's perspectives on money, and then hopefully be able to find some examples that I can use as well for, like, if you're in this scenario, you can do this for your finances. It's also good to just talk about money. It's so taboo, so I think something like this would be a cool experiment. The next thing is to house sit / house swap / house exchange, and it's kind of tied into the like live somewhere else part of the year goal. So maybe having like a second house, or like I said, spending part of the year traveling. In order to do this, we would need to downsize our current house, so buy a less expensive house. And there's lots of nice houses in our state that just aren't here because it has a higher cost of living. So maybe moving out a little bit more rural to be able to afford living somewhere else for like a month like we're doing this year, or even for like a couple months. So still up in the air, but just had that as an idea to explore. Okay, this is the one I'm most excited about. This was like, so I don't come up with legacy goals very often. That's kind of what I was talking about at the beginning, because like we don't have kids. I've been thinking more about, what do I want to do with our money like towards the end, if you know what I mean. And so I had this idea of having a female statue garden that's like an outdoor statue garden, and the point of it would be to help close the statue gender gap. So I read a statistic that there are very few female statues, like outdoor statues. Something like less than 8% of statues in the US are of women. And I'd be curious in the comments, if you were to commission a female statue, who would it be of? Like, who are your lady role models, or who would you like to see a statue of? And the final new bucket list item is to write a Hallmark greeting card. It doesn't have to be Hallmark, a greeting card of some kind. And the reason for this is because I was voted in high school most likely to write greeting cards. My husband said, "Are you sure that's a compliment?" And I think it is. I think that in order to write Hallmark cards, you have to be partly funny, you have to be heartfelt. And then there's like the entrepreneurial component of like, you're out there just writing it by yourself. So I don't know. I always thought it was awesome that I was voted that. I was always very flattered. So I thought it'd be cool to add to like my actual bucket list. Like, why wouldn't I? It's a nice little side hustle thing you can do as well. So I am not loving the layout of these, but we're getting ready to do stuff for the weekend, and so don't have a whole lot of time to fiddle with it. Plus, I've been meaning to do this page for a while now. Maybe I'll do this one again in my new... Maybe I'll do this again in my other journal. So in addition to the lady statue question, I'd also be curious in the comments to hear if you have any new bucket list goals that you have added recently. Yeah, and so like I said, these are kind of mostly financial. It's always hard because there's always overlap between like all kinds of goals and finances. So like you could make the argument that eating healthier is a finance goal because maybe it requires you to spend more money in order to eat healthier. So it's a little hard to differentiate between finance bucket list things and non. But like I said, I have like, this is like career stuff, like the Bozeman Money Talks. the investing accredited investor goal. Travel is expensive, and so I feel like that is more of a finance goal than anything else, just, you know, being able to work that into the budget. Getting paid for stand-up and greeting cards, those are both like income related. Yoga retreat, again, kind of like the travel, just because it tends to be more expensive. And then like property goals. So that's why I consider these to be my finance bucket list tasks. I just dropped a sheet of paper if you heard that when I was talking. Okay, that's all I have. Until next time, I hope your guys' finances rock. Bye.